Hello and welcome to IB Times TV. I'm Marisa Christian. Today we're going to be going over the extensive iPhone 5S review written by IB Times tech editor Dave Smith, who's pretty much our resident Apple expert. Dave, you said the iPhone 5S is more than a sum of its parts. What did you mean?
Well, I mean just that. I mean the specs in the new phone are really fantastic. I think a lot of people, if they were looking at it and measuring it, it looks like an incremental improvement. But when you look at it all together and you forget about the past and you look at this phone just in of itself, you see the individual specs. You have a great camera. You have a fingerprint sensor. You have the new phone running iOS 7. There's the great metal build. There's a lot going on in this phone, but altogether it really makes up to be a truly enjoyable experience that's much more than the sum of its parts.
What makes the iPhone 5S significantly better than its predecessor, the iPhone 5?
Well, the iPhone 5 was a great phone in of itself. The iPhone 5S, as is every S upgrade, which is every 2 years, it has the exact same form factor, so people aren't really caring that much about the size and the shape and everything, even though it is great, and they clearly have the right formula with that form factor. So it really looks great, it feels great, but the two major differences in the iPhone 5S that iPhone 5 owners may want to consider upgrading to is the fingerprint sensor, which is a really great way to introduce security onto a phone, but make it really easy and fun for people to use, not a hindrance at all. And the new camera system. And I really can't stress this enough. I've seen every camera upgrade in all the iPhones, and this is by far the best one. I mean, the photos really look accurate. It's not just about like crystal clear, but they really just look accurate. The colors, the skin tones, the lighting even. You don't get these awful silhouettes like you used to. You really do get a strong feeling of foreground and background, color accuracy and saturation, colors and photos, and also videos this time around really just look beautiful, and they're totally customizable. You can really do a lot with them. There are tons of options. So if there's any kind of moment that you want to capture, there's tons of ways to capture it. So I really think the camera is just kind of out of this world.
Now, you mentioned the fingerprint sensor. How is the security for the iPhone 5S?
The security is great, and what's great about it is that it's really sophisticated and advanced. This fingerprint technology was purchased from Authentic, which was based in Florida last July. And the fingerprint sensor technology was really incredible. It's basically it's all this technology crammed into just something that's 3 millimeters when you put it all together, and it's really spectacular. Just because when you want to unlock your phone, people are used to having to put in a passcode, or for some Android devices you have to do some kind of symbol, or you can really kind of customize it the way you want to. But with this, they just really make it dead simple, but you know that it's extremely secure. You just put your finger or your thumb on there, you hold it there for less than a second, and your phone unlocks. And you get this feeling that, wow, my phone is really secure, but it doesn't feel that way. When it may just look to other people like, oh, he's just unlocking his phone just by opening it. But without the slide to unlock, without having to put in a passcode, this is really the best way to do security, because it takes it out of the user's hands and puts it all in the secure ecosystem. And so I really think they just found the perfect solution for security. Let's hope that it stays that way.
Now, the iPhone 5S has the same 8-megapixel camera as the iPhone 5, but it has a few minor improvements. You said, quote, "You don't have to be a great photographer to capture stunning photos and video on the 5S." Explain.
It's true. I mean, the camera, even though everybody was thinking, oh man, they didn't do 12 megapixels, they didn't do 41 megapixels like the Nokia phone, it's a total disaster. It's totally wrong. I mean, Apple's theory when it comes to cameras is that megapixels don't necessarily matter, but the sensor does, because the sensor should be able to pick up more light, and we should have better software that can then understand what is going on in the picture, and what is the person looking for. Are they looking for eyes that are open? Are they looking for lights to create silhouettes? Or are they looking for everything to have true color representation on the phone? So the camera is just much improved just by tweaking a few little things. The sensor is larger. There are more pixels in every inch. And basically, there's also there's a better software, in iOS 7 that intelligently understands what you're trying to do while you're taking the photograph, and it presents you with the best possible version of the photo. So for instance, if you have a light on in the background, or let's say there's a sunset and you're trying to get a great image of your friends in the foreground. It won't just wash out your friends in the foreground, or it won't just make them look silhouette-ish. It'll, if that's a word.
It is now.
It is now. But it intelligently understands what's going on in the picture. It picks up more light thanks to the larger aperture, and it presents you with a photo that you will actually be happy with. So it really does represent more like a professional camera than it does a camera phone or a camera on a smartphone. So yeah, I mean, it's really one of these things that you just have to see it in person. You have to play with it in person because it's really fantastic.
I feel like we can't talk about the iPhone 5S without talking about iOS 7. Has Apple worked out all the bugs?
Unfortunately, no. I mean, I think as much as we would like it to be great, this is pretty typical of most software updates, not just from Apple, but from anybody. Anytime there's a major software upgrade, there's always lots of things that go wrong. And even though Apple had the beta out for iOS 7 months in advance before the public release, a lot of developers wait until it's out in the public to actually bring forth the problems that they know about to Apple, because that way they can be more newsworthy if they are the ones to break the news of, oh, there's a bug in iMessage, oh, there's a bug in multitasking. They can bring more notoriety to themselves, good or bad, and Apple obviously will have to hurry and bring out some fixes. They brought out 2 fixes thus far for a passcode. There was an issue with the passcode before, but right now there's currently an iMessage bug that's going around where it's not like you can catch it, but or your phone can catch it, hopefully. But basically your phone just won't send or receive iMessages, so it may just send as an SMS message or it may not send at all. There are little things like this where every time you patch up something, another hole opens, another leak gets unplugged or something, and you know that's just the fact of software. You know, these things can be hacked. These things are vulnerable, and Apple is doing its hardest to try to fix these cracks in the system. But overall, it's pretty solid. There are just very few glitches, but they will be solved eventually. I would say in the next month or 2.
Apple will keep us updated. Dave, thanks for your analysis.
My pleasure.